Okay.
If
So I can go share it.
Yes, sir. And actually, we are live now. So, but let me do something real quick.
Okay.
Let me at least do. All right, here we go. Welcome back to another episode of the HBCU Daily Grind. My name is Omar Muhammad, helping you improve and progress in business and in life. I'm also a fellow, I was going to say MSU, but I'm just going to say HBCU alum advocate. Advocate. So I like all of the HBCUs. Also, the host of this. I call it a workshop. You know, people call it the podcast, workshop, whatever you want to call it. You know, we're here to shine a spotlight on those individuals who are graduates of HBCUs. But before we go to our special guest, just want to let you know that you can find us on all of the social media, not all of them, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Seem like that's all of them. You can find us by going to HBCU by association. We also have our website up and running, HBCU by association.com. So head on over there, see some of the things that we're planning to do. But after this, I'm going to show you some, we need your help. But we're going to do this interview first. So without further ado, let me bring to the screen, the Zoom, all that good stuff. This good brother, Isaac Addae. And let me correct myself. Dr. Isaac Addae. Brother, congratulations, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Blessed. Good to see you. Good to connect.
Yes.
You know, I met you at the very beginning of my doctoral journey, and you were supporting entrepreneurs then, and you are still. And I'm just happy to see it.
Absolutely, man. So give a shout out to your HBCU. You're a double. You got double. So
Sure. Tennessee State, 2-time engineering grad, Morgan State, doctoral degree in business. So love HBCUs. Most of the folks in my family have at least one degree from a Black college.
All right, good deal. So we're going to get more into your business. But first, let's start off with this. I'm always kind of breaking the ice when people come on. You know, when you're thinking about going to a HBCU, there are 4 kind of quadrants that we look at. And it just happens to spell out HBCU. So the H is for homecoming. You know, you've been to homecoming. Yep. The B is for Black excellence, whether it's your professors, the history of the university. The C is for clubs and organizations. And the U is for a united place. You know, is there one special place on campus that students congregate and do networking, learn, whatever, you know? So those 4 quadrants, homecoming, Black excellence, clubs and organizations, and the united place. What resonates with you? Which one, if all of them resonates with you?
Man, I'll say all of them, but I think what probably stands out was the social aspect in the clubs and the organizations. Being an undergrad engineering student at Tennessee State, I was involved in a lot of student orgs. Same thing in grad school at TSU and at Morgan State. So that social element is key. I mean, but we love homecoming too.
Absolutely. So is there one place on campus that, you know, whether it's at Tennessee State or at Morgan State, that you, man, that's my spot?
I'll be honest with you, man. When I was at TSU doing grad and undergrad in engineering, I lived in the engineering building. And that was like outside of my dorm room, my other home. And it just resonates with me a lot because I built my grind there. I learned that mindset of working hard to go chase your dreams by spending a lot of time in that building. So, you know, that's something that's going to always be memorable for me.
Absolutely. So engineering, man, I you know, my best friend, we both came to Morgan at the same time. You know, he was more of he was engineering. And that's how I became so close with so many engineers, because I used to hang out at the School of Engineering.
Gotcha.
And then I had to come back. You know, here at Morgan, it's the School of Engineering and then it's Morgan State University, which is funny. I think it's real funny. But nonetheless, so engineering, how did you get this? How did you stumble, or I should say, how did you get involved in this entrepreneurial journey?
You know what? It's funny you asked that question. My parents are from Ghana, and they're very entrepreneurial people. Most African or Black people are very entrepreneurial. And so my parents were running businesses my entire childhood, and I worked in those businesses, but I had never heard the term entrepreneurship. It wasn't something people talked about then. But my parents ran multiple businesses. And so that was my first foray into entrepreneurship. And I think I've always loved business and had a passion for business. And so once I got out into the workplace after grad school, I realized, you know what, at some point I want to start my own company, and started just connecting with other entrepreneurs.
All right, so let's jump right into that, man.
Sure.
I know your parents. I keep talking about going to
Ghana. You got to get with me, man.
I need to make that. We talked about that a couple of years. Well, about 4 years.
About 3-4 years.
Anyway, it's about you.
You will love it. So talk about. You'll love it. Yeah, you got to get to Ghana.
I can't wait to go, man. So talk about, what business are you in? Business or businesses that you're in now?
Sure. Yeah. So a couple of things. So one, I have my own company called Addae Company, and that is the organization that I started in 2017 that I have done a lot of speaking, a lot of consulting and training under, and this whole Black Boy Fly brand with my book and all of the efforts that are attached to that all fall under the umbrella of Addae Company. I'm also the Chief Strategy Officer at Pivot Technology School, which is a for-profit learning institution here in Nashville, founded by 2 Black men. I'm on the executive team. It's launched in 2019. So it's a fairly new tech academy as well. So those are the 2 primary businesses that I'm involved with.
All right, so I want to stay with this text. So it's a school to teach people how to get involved in tech?
Yep, for sure. So we focus on adult learners at Pivot Tech School, and we teach people how to either code or data analytics or cybersecurity. And the whole goal is people who are wanting to pivot their career from one field into the tech arena, they come to us. We train them over 20 weeks, and our programs are fully remote. So all of our teaching is online. And when people leave our programs, they have skills that'll get them entry-level positions in some of these major tech companies. And we've been getting students placed at companies like Amazon, Shipped, major billion-dollar companies that can't find Black talent. They're coming to us, and we're helping them achieve that goal.
Yeah, can't find. I still love that in 2022?
You still saying that.
Qualify. It's so good. All right, so let's talk about this Black Boy Fly. I like the background. So talk about your book and why Black Boy Fly.
Yeah, for sure. I think the easiest way to describe this is that I spent 7 years at Tennessee State University on faculty in the business school, taught thousands of students. And over the course of those 7 years, what I always remember most were the Black male students that I couldn't reach. And for whatever reason, it still sticks with me today. I had several Black male students that came through my classes that I just could not connect with for one reason or another, but I knew that they needed me. I knew that they needed support. And for whatever reason, we couldn't connect. And so this whole idea of Black Boy Fly for me is a way to empower all brothers, young boys, young men, older brothers, such as myself, you and I with the grades and all that stuff going, to empower us to achieve greatness and to be our best selves. That's essentially what it is. And so I put out the book last year, but I also have just created this Black Boy Fly brand, which I've trademarked. I own the trademark for it. I just launched the podcast, and I've been doing speaking to groups of Black men around what this concept means. And essentially it's a double entendre. When you see the word fly, it means you can look fly. I got my Black Boy Fly hoodie on, so I'm fly, but also flying in terms of your career, flying in terms of your personal life, flying high and achieving your dreams, and not just saying, I hope to do this one day, but making that actually happen.
Mhm. I love that. So, man, I mean, it's a ton of questions I have
Sure,
based
go
off of
for it.
that. So, I want to go with the business stuff first. Then I want to go come
Yep,
back to I want to go to the finding the black males. So it's
yep,
interesting. I've been doing this entrepreneurship work for a lot of years, and most of the services that I provide, from entrepreneurial training to coaching, it's all about the women business
yep,
owners.
yep,
And I try to do something with the guys.
yeah,
I try to
yeah.
do something called Black Fathers as entrepreneurs. And it's been a struggle. So from your experience and you've developed this brand here. What are you finding when you talk to individuals, especially around entrepreneurship, Black males
Yep,
around
sure.
entrepreneurship? What are you finding?
I'm seeing a lot of brothers that are in business or that aspire to be entrepreneurs. But I think if I had to just
Mm,
point to one issue as it relates to the Black man or young brothers in general, it's that of empowerment. I think many of our young brothers
mm,
aren't empowered. They don't feel as though they have what they need to do what they want to do, even though they have dreams, they have goals. I would be talking to my Black male students and they say, yeah, I want to accomplish this. And I say, okay, so we're going to make that happen, right? Man, I don't know if I can do it. And it's like, what do you mean? You got to believe first. If you don't believe, then it's not going to happen, right? And so I think that empowerment piece is key. I know you've done a lot of work with entrepreneurs, and you and I have talked specifically about how the Black males aren't a part of these engagements and these activities that you're doing, but the sisters are everywhere. Same thing with me, man. Anything that I've been involved with, Black women show up, and they show up in numbers, but my brothers aren't always
yeah.
available, in large numbers. And I think it just goes back to us not feeling empowered in many ways.
Well, we gotta get us empowered because I want to have some events, not just here in the state of Maryland, but throughout the world. So,
Sure,
all right. So
sure.
we definitely gotta, circle back on that. So, Black Boy Fly, your book, so
Mm-hmm.
tell me more about what the book is
Yeah,
about.
sure. So, as I mentioned earlier, my parents are from Ghana. I was born in the United States. I was raised in this country, but my upbringing was interesting because at home everything was Ghanaian. Outside of home, everything was Black. I grew up in the South, Mississippi and Arkansas, and I had to reconcile
Wow.
those two worlds, and it was hard, right? It was hard being the African kid, but then trying to figure out what it meant to be Black. So my journey was interesting. And then once I got into college and into my career, there were other things that unfolded around that duality of being Ghanaian and being Black. So this book documents my journey through Blackness while also understanding my ancestry in terms of being Ghanaian. But I also wrote this book as a tool to empower brothers, essentially. And when you read it, it's broken up into three parts: purpose, influence, and change. And in each part, I share different thoughts about experiences that I've gone through, how I overcame those experiences, and how I can empower somebody else to thrive and to fly in their life. So that's the essence of the book.
All right, so I say, so we missed. Can you give it to us again because you froze a little bit?
Sure,
Where
sure,
you
sure.
again are?
Yeah, no problem at all. So Black Boy Fly is a book that essentially captures my journey in America while also managing being Ghanaian. So my journey through life, I kind of walked two paths, one being Ghanaian, the other being Black, and trying to figure out what those two worlds meant, not fully being in either one. I also talk about my experiences in college. I talk about my experiences in my career and in my adult life with some of my wins and some of the things that I struggled through, like divorce, like changing careers, just, health issues. But I wrote the book
Mm.
basically to share my experiences in a way to empower other people, other Black men specifically, even though all kinds of folks are reading the book. I had a white guy message me today and say he read it, but I initially was thinking about my brothers when I put it out, but it's connecting with everybody.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And shame on me for not getting a copy before we did this interview.
Oh, that's
So
all good.
I'm gonna have to
Just
get
send
this
me a message.
copy.
I'll get you a copy.
I appreciate that. Man. Appreciate that. So let's talk about some business now.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been doing, how long have you been doing business? How long have you
Man,
been in
so
business?
I started my first for-profit in 2017, but I started a nonprofit in 2010. So I think I'll say I've been formally engaged in entrepreneurship personally since 2010.
Mhm. So one of the things I'm finding out, especially about our people, and that is,
Mm-hmm.
how do we move on us?
Right.
Sometimes it is just us, but how
Yeah.
do we, find individuals that can help us get to the next level to scale that business? So
Sure.
what are your thoughts on scaling
Yeah,
entrepreneur?
great question. Great question. When I taught my entrepreneurship classes and my business strategy classes, anytime I've had conversations with entrepreneurs, I've talked to them about the importance of scaling their business, especially Black businesses. And the reason that's important, as you know, if we're ever going to do anything to impact our community and hire more folks in our community, we can only do that if we scale our businesses. And it's hard because when you start it and it's just you, then delegating and or collaborating or partnering with other entrepreneurs becomes a challenge. But it's needed. I spent the past 2 years doing quite a bit of diversity strategy consulting in partnership with other consultants. So we've worked together in tag team contracts as a way to help us both get experience that we couldn't have got on our own. So I believe, your priority should be developing a strong business case, consistently delivering value to your customer base, and then thinking about delegating. Who can you bring onto your team to help offload some of these activities so that you can then grow the business? Because you can't grow if you're always the only person involved. You're limited by you, and you've only got 24 hours in a day.
Exactly. And I'm finding that to be the case in many situations where I'm working with and, really working to get individuals to, hey, what if you all begin to work together?
Right.
That way you just like this collaboration that you're doing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I know egos get in the way, but man, if you really want to grow, you're either going to have to find a big contract, have great products, or collaborate.
Yep.
So
That
those are just
collaboration
three.
is key. Collaboration is key, especially in the Black community, because many times we're trying to start businesses to solve some of the same customer needs or social challenges, and we'll have 5 people doing the exact same thing, all trying to get 5 separate buckets of money versus, let's collab. So I got started working with Pivot Tech School in 2020, more so just as a consultant, to one of my good friends is a co-founder. And I said, man, I think I can help you guys out, because he had a need for someone to do business development. And then that turned into me working with this organization full time and being on the executive leadership team. And that's because in my mind, I was willing to take my skill set and help build a business and help grow another company, because it's not about ego. We're going to all win regardless if we're working together. You know what I mean? But oftentimes it's hard for us to put our ego aside. And if I'm not the one running it, then I don't want to, go work in this other. No, we can't think like that. We can't think like that. Because think about this. Absolutely. You have Tesla. Elon Musk started it, but did he build it by himself? No. And you've got Microsoft, Bill Gates. Bill Gates started Microsoft, right? But guess what? Steve Ballmer is a billionaire too. You know what I mean? So you can be the COO, you can be, somebody that reports to the leadership team and still become wealthy by bringing your skill set to the table.
Absolutely. So that's a good concept as well. I'm always saying to individuals, what do you bring to the table? I'm talking about my 14-year-old daughter. She may watch this, she may not watch this. I'm all 14 in high school now. I'm like, I don't want to go to school.
Yeah.
What skill do you have?
Yeah.
So develop your skill. Then school really becomes, I don't want to say easy, but it becomes, okay, I got this skill, and this education has kind of helped me along the way. And, what do you bring to the table? I'm always saying that to individuals. What skills or what do you bring to the table so that we all can work together? We all can eat, if you will. So just wanted to kind of throw that out. And, if you want to comment on it.
Yeah, let me comment on that. What I was going to say is that I was listening to a video on YouTube this morning, and the guy basically I forgot the name of the guy, but he was basically saying you can't make money without creating value. And I know that, but to hear him say it in that way, it kind of hit me, because it's like, you know what? You're right. Money isn't generated without some type of value being created. So when you think about yourself as an individual, if you're going to generate income, passive or active, doing anything, it's going to be because you create a value. So what kind of value are you going to create? So that goes back to skills. What skills are you going to gain, and what type of value can you create with those skills so that you can generate income and generate a way to sustain yourself? So it applies to business, but it applies to individuals as well. We have to be creating value for somebody, and then we reap the rewards of that, or we gain revenues from doing the work to create that value.
Absolutely. I love that. I do want to go back to one thing that you talked about earlier, and that's that trademark.
Yeah.
Now, did you go through an attorney to do this, or did you go through the United States United States
PTO,
Patent
and Trademark Office. Yeah. I worked with a friend of mine who's well versed in this space. She's not an actual patent attorney, but she understands the process. And she did my wife's trademark a few years ago. And last year we started working on the Black Boy Fly trademark, because I knew I was going to drop the book and start promoting the brand and having merch and other things like that. And I said, you know what, let me just get smart with this. And so I got the trademark done, and it took a year, but I think in January of this year, it actually, went through completely uncontested. And so now I own that trademark, and that's intellectual property. And that's something I tell young people all the time, what value are you creating? For me, with this Black Boy Fly brand, I'm creating value. I'm building the brand, but I'm creating value. Why would I not want to protect that value creating mechanism in a way that I can control? And that's what an intellectual property allows us to do.
Absolutely. So let's go back to school, man. So HBCUs that you graduated from, what value did they provide to you to help you along the way in your entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah. I'm so glad you asked that question, man. I need to send you this article. I was featured in Forbes last year because the lady did a story on me and talked about my HBCU background. And so she asked me, what did Morgan State and what did Tennessee State do for you, man? Two specific things. Tennessee State taught me what it meant to be Black. It helped me understand all of the nuances of Black culture, all of the differences and the layers of Black people. I wasn't aware of any of that until I went to Tennessee State. And because of that, I discovered my power as a Black man while I was at TSU. Wow. I understood that my Blackness was powerful, that my Africanness was powerful. And so when I left Tennessee State, I was aware of my power as a Black and African man. When I got to Morgan State taught me that I was a diamond in the rough. And you know a lot about my journey, Omar. Morgan State taught me that I was a diamond in the rough, because I had some experiences and I had some interactions that really broke me down to my core. But, like they say, pressure busts pipes and makes diamonds. I feel as though I'm still a little rough, but I'm getting that shine. I'm starting to get my shine on. But Morgan State taught me that. And I have to give full credit to my dissertation chair, Dr. Christopher Mathis, because he helped me see the greatness that I had inside of me. Dr. Mathis, he's a beast, man. He basically told me, this is what you can do. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. He said, no, you can do it and you're going to do it. And we made it happen. So that's right. Morgan State taught me that.
That sounds like. All right, good deal. So what advice can you give to HBCUs in general?
Yeah. You know what? Great question. If I were to sit with Dr. Wilson, who's my frat brother, and I still haven't met him, but at Morgan State, Dr. Wilson, and then Dr. Glover at Tennessee State, if I were to sit and talk with both of them in a room together, I would tell them that, they have Black male students on their campus that have a lot of talent and a lot of potential, but they need guidance. They need someone to step in and empower them. And not many Black colleges have male leadership institutes or different types of programming like that. I would want to be a part of developing that type of programming on Black college campuses. I know Howard University has something, I think North Carolina A&T does, but it's not widespread across the ecosystem of Black colleges. But I would want something in place to empower our young brothers, because our sisters are doing well. They're killing the game. But historically, the numbers are the same. Smaller percentage of Black males are finding their ways into these four-year institutions and then graduating in 4 or 5 years with the, you get my point. And so it's a crisis, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a crisis. And it's something that I think we can do something about. And I want to be a part of that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we need to get that some type of programming going on, because you're right. Although I'm not in the classroom, I do see a lot of students, and again, most of them are young ladies who are looking to learn about entrepreneurship. And then the guys that I do work with, man, they're different. Egos. I know this. It's just like some of the guys I work with. It's almost like they are the GPS, even though they don't know where they're going.
Yeah, sure.
We gotta figure out how we can build that. So, with the efforts that you are doing, we could work, alongside you with this Black Boy Fly initiative.
Would love to, man.
How can people reach out to you?
Yeah, sure.
Definitely.
So I'm on all social media platforms. Isaac Addae, PhD. 1 S, 2 A's in my first name. You can go to isaacaddae.com. You can also go to blackboyfly.club. That's the home online for everything related to the book and the brand. You can get the merch. You can learn about the podcast there. The book is for sale on the Black Boy Fly Club website. It's also for sale on Amazon. I've been going into as many spaces as I can to share my story and speak to groups of Black men. And I want to expand more. My goal is to hit every Black college, all 107, and go on those campuses and empower young brothers. So if you are in that space and you want to connect with me, please reach out.
All right. So let me just be clear. Blackboyfly.club?
Blackboyfly.club. Yep.
Okay, good deal. All right, we're gonna make it to all 107, man. So we already got 2 out the way.
Already got 2 out the way.
So let's get to the other ones. All right, is there anything else that you would like to talk about? Did I miss anything?
Let me just give you your flowers, brother, because I have been watching you grind for over a decade. I met you in 2010, my first year as a PhD student, and you were basically talking about your focus to get our people on board with entrepreneurship. That was 2010. And now look at where we are. Many people are wishing they started a business 10 years ago. So Omar, you deserve a lot of credit for the work that you're doing. Now you're at the state level on the Maryland, you're on the board for the state as it relates to entrepreneurship. And I just think that what you're doing is so important, and we need many, many, many more people empowering folks that look like you and I to start businesses. If the pandemic didn't teach us anything, it should have taught us that these career opportunities aren't always going to be there, and that we have to have other systems in place to take care of ourselves and take care of our families. So I just want to give you a shout out, man, for the work you're doing.
Much love, man. Definitely appreciate that. Let's go to Ghana, man, and then we can go to these HBCUs.
Yes, for sure.
Man, I really appreciate you, man. Really appreciate the work that you're doing. I've been watching you as well. And once again, congratulations, man. Dr. Isaac Addae, man.
Thank you, man.
When I saw that, I'm like, man.
Because you know the journey. You saw me when I was the young 30-year-old brother with the newborn rolling up on campus trying to play the political game and find my way out. And not everybody finishes, man. Some people don't finish, but God saw to it that I got out, and he put people around me, and he showed me the things I needed to see, because what I didn't realize, man, my calling was much bigger than just teaching students in a business school. I didn't know that at the time. I thought that that's what my calling was, but it's much bigger. I still love the academic lane, but God has said there's some other things I want you to do. And that's why my journey had to be what it was, because I had to have a testimony, man.
Right. Absolutely. Got to have that testimony. My daughter always said, you have that story.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, man, yeah, congratulations, man. And I'll definitely be in touch with you, bro.
For sure. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Now you can stay on board, man. I'm gonna go do a couple more things, or you could just sign off.
Sure.
Bro.
I'll tap in. I'll stay in and listen.
All right. So I always do this, and I'm trying to get this and make sure. No, here we go. No, that's not
my daughter always said. I have that story.
That's not what I wanted. This is what I want right here. All right, y'all. Y'all know the deal. I'm gonna go through these 5 slides real fast. So again, this is an effort, of some individuals who are entrepreneurs, who are dealing with HBCUs as well. So for me, I see this as a way for us to build the community of HBCU alumni entrepreneurs, where we can work, learn, and play collectively, and we can begin to build the internal and external communities around these HBCUs. So that's the purpose, the role of this HBCU by association. So we definitely want you all to help spread the word about what we're doing. Right now, it's 2 of us, it's 2 founders of this organization. However, we're getting involved with students that are on campus that are interested in entrepreneurship. We also are looking for ambassadors, those individuals who are saying, man, I believe in HBCUs. I believe in what you all are doing with HBCU by association. So if that's you, our email is on the next page. As well as we're working with alumni council. So if you are a president of an alumni council, or a president, or you are a member of the alumni council, please reach out to us as well, because that's the other team that we have, because we can't do this by ourselves. So one of the other things that we're doing is, one of the things that I work with entrepreneurs on is really doing customer discovery, finding out exactly what challenges that a particular person or organization has. So we're doing that for HBCU by association. You can just go to bit.ly. I'll leave this up here for a minute. HBCU BA customer discovery. And if you can help spread the word, the goal is to have 100 of these surveys done. I'll be reaching out to some people, talking to them about this as well. But in the meantime, if you can help spread the word, we definitely appreciate it. And then this is how you can get in contact with us. We're, as I indicated, on most of the social media, HBCU by association. Our email address, you can email me at info@HBCU by association. You see the website there as well. So if you're interested in being a guest on the HBCU Daily Grind, reach out to me. Here's my email address, and I'll send you the information that you need. So once again, I want to thank you. Thank you all. Thank Dr. Isaac Addae for being a part of the Daily Grind. I want to thank you for tuning in as well. Until we meet again, always continue to improve and progress, and continue using HBCU resources to find the best in you. So we'll see you next week. Until then, peace. Stop.